Naneh, I'm really excited to have you on Picsart's Ignite Podcast. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I'm especially excited today because we are going to talk about something that's close to both of our hearts. And it's where we both got our start at Picsart.
Yes, it is.
Which is community.
Yeah.
I want to start off by saying that creativity is not only what you make, it's what you make possible for others. And one of the ways that PixArt has shown that love for its community is just treating it like a creative engine that is a kind of fuel for our entire user base to grow together, create together, and explore their potential together. And so I thought I would invite you so we could take a dive inside our community today. And there is no one that I would rather go down memory lane with than an old colleague and dear friend, Naneh Mouradian. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
So one of the things I want to start speaking about with you is misconceptions about what a community is in a creative platform.
Is not.
We have a very unique relationship with our community, so I wanted to unpack that with you.
Yeah, we definitely do, and I think it is such a core part of what PixArt is and who PixArt is. I think one misconception of community that we find ourselves having to battle against quite often, both internally and externally, is the fact or the thought that a community is an audience. And when you think of an audience, you think of it like a one-way road, right? I talk and then the audience listens. They're a set of eyes and ears that we can use to hear, so they hear what we say and hear what we sell as well. But I think when you look at it like that, what happens is you get the community in that sense means a growth lever and something that you can turn into metrics. But especially in a creative community like PixArt, a community is not just an audience. And it's not just one way, and it's not even two-way where the audience comes back to you and talks. It's a multi-layered web almost, not even a road, a web, where the audience not only talks with you, you talk to the audience, but most importantly, they talk within each other. So that means that we get feedback from the audience. We get a feedback from the community within itself. People post and others provide feedback. They see inspiration in the feed that others people post. So I think when you look at it like that, and when you look at a community, that's when it becomes a creative engine, because it truly is, especially users that have been with us for so long, like similarly to how you and I are talking together. We have users that we know by name, and we talk about, remember that post that user created for years. And so that's when it becomes a creative engine, when people talk to each other, they talk with you, and you are able to talk with your communities. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to reframe when we talk about communities.
And for our community, for our creators, what does that community element do for them that product can never do?
Well, a product is a tool that you use, a tool that you can use quite often, versus a community is a place where you return to. And what that does is when you can use a product to execute a task or even to fulfill your creativity, a community gives you what product cannot in terms of inspiration, in terms of feedback, in terms of peer review even. Like how do humans get to truths, right? We get to talk to each other and then we get to some sort of improvement or some sort of next step. The same happens in, I think, community, where aside from you being able to create something using tools, you can share it with others and get feedback and inspiration with others and talk to each other and improve yourself and improve others as well in a very safe and creative community.
That really resonates. When you were just saying that we know our community, our creators,
Yeah.
and that's the exact story of when I'm working and I'm working for our community or for the product or for the company. Carol is always in the back of my mind. She's my PixArt friend that I met through the community.
See? Yeah.
And she, wildly talented, didn't know it walking in, started taking really cool photos and using PixArt, right? But it wasn't, it's like you said, it was the feedback that she received, the way that she was embraced, the inspiration that she got along the way with our other community members. And now she's a professional photographer in California, rocking it. And this newfound love and appreciation of her own art really was born with us. And so it resonates with me. And now we have this kind of new opportunity that takes this community element next level, and it's spaces. So I was hoping you would speak a little bit about our spaces.
Yeah, of course. So for people who don't know, Spaces is a sort of mini community that users can create themselves. And similarly to communities on Reddit, you can share that space with other people who are into the same topic as you. So that can be an editing style, even like collaging or surreal editing. It can be a topic that people are coming together for. And I think the uniqueness for community is, or for spaces, is the fact that we are able to create that space, like I said, right? People are able to talk to each other, where people can provide feedback, provide posts, comment, likes, sharing. So that's what our spaces is. And I think it's very important for us as well when we look at the performance of a space, like right as a community team, we don't look at necessarily just the numbers of how big a space is, because there's no correlation to the number of people that we have in a space and the health of the space, right? Although we do have like hundreds of thousands of users in one space sometimes. What we do look at is if there's a heartbeat in the space. So are people posting and not commenting, or are people commenting? So what I'm looking for when I look at the health of the space is, are people giving each other feedback? Are comments looking like cool, nice, or are they like not a bit more ambiguous, like, oh, this is cool, but I wasn't able to do it, or how did you get to this type of effect? So that's what indicates how well a space is doing, and the actual core of what we wanted to do with Spaces, which is a true space for interaction for a very specific type of content.
Yeah, well, I'll give you some direct feedback you can take back.
Yeah.
I have a side hustle. It's a little small business. And there's the small business space where you can do advertising and kind of like, check that out. And it's a very generous community. And so if I'm stuck because I'm not the greatest, I will be the first to admit, as an editor, although our new AI prowess has changed that game.
Of course.
But I find a generous community there that's really willing to like help, and even sometimes do the edits and the comments, and then I get to see it and I'm like, this is embarrassing. I've only been here forever. But I do appreciate that. One thing that I really, really love about our community is our challenges. And so I wanted to kind of, other than ask you to talk about the challenges, I wanted to kind of get your take on what that world is like in PixArt.
Okay, so challenges is another big lever, and I think engine that creates momentum in PixArt. And what challenges are is, imagine them as, of course imagine them as a sort of prompt or guided creative direction that gets announced. And people who want to participate can participate, and there's rules and there's restrictions, and it's almost like a community getting together to complete some sort of creative task. And why that's cool is, first of all, it creates it solves the blank canvas problem, where a lot of new users, the first time they post, it's through a challenge, and it gets them to, defeats the whole, like, I don't know where to start thing, right? So if you give them a creative direction of, I remember this was a while back, but design this ice cream cone in a setting, that was what we did for summer. it gives them something to start with, and it gives them the idea to carry on and roll out. And it's so interesting to see how one person can interpret something in one way and how another can interpret it in a completely different way. So what challenges also does for us is, aside from getting all of that together, it creates instant momentum of like, okay, let's get this done. But also there are winners. So people can vote for each other and they can vote for their favorite, but we also have like a community leader vote input from us. And what is also fun and creates that like kind of spark with challenges, it's fun for us as well, because sometimes people win things. We're doing this more and more now, where we're sending people merch and we're sending them some sort of gift or gift on the platform, whether that's in terms of free usage or merch. So it really creates the sense of rewarded creativity. So I think it's rewarding both for the user and for us as well.
I want to share a huge reward, and it's my favorite challenge story. So many years ago, we partnered with Vogue, and we had our community design the September issue of Vogue China.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's probably one of the most manicured publications in the world. And it's pristine. And
I participated in that, I remember.
Okay, And Condé Nast, my gosh, what an opportunity to design the September issue of Vogue China. And it was a teenager from South America who won this challenge, and the design made it on the cover of Vogue. And I'm still mesmerized by that fact, and I had
forgotten about that, the ending of that story and that challenge.
And it's like what an opportunity to manifest, right? Like what an opportunity to become.
Exactly, and I think that's what's amazing about it, is it like we removed the gap essentially between something so that could seem otherwise so far away, because in what other world would a teenager be able to design a cover of Vogue and get that type of opportunity? So I think that it is, I think that's the perfect example. And we've had tons of the stuff like that, right, coming from our community.
I'm very proud of those stories. And I have a question that I haven't talked to you about yet. Mm-hmm. I have my own kind of noticings, but I wanted to get your take. How has the onset of creative AI impacted community? Yeah. What are the trends that you're noticing?
Yeah. What hasn't it impacted? I think that one thing that is for sure, it changes the pace when it comes to how quickly people can output, not just in the community, but everywhere. It changes the pace. And I think one challenge that we are thinking through as a team, and again, with everything that's moving so quickly, there's a lot of things that we are thinking through. A challenge that we are thinking through is the fact that the definition of effort changes, or the evaluation of effort changes, right? Because what that means is, as community managers, it's hard for us to understand how to evaluate, or what to evaluate. Is it the effort? Is it the thought? Or is it the depth of tools? Because with AI, you don't need too big of a depth of tools, right? But I think what comes hand in hand with that is this amazing opportunity for me, as someone who's not, people like me who are not as creative, or don't have as good as a creative instinct, is the fact that the gap between idea to execution and actually creating something is so much smaller now, right? Because there's been so many cases where I have an idea or something in my head, I don't necessarily have the tool set or know how to create that, but now with a prompt I can at least get started, or at least get some inspiration for it. And let alone, like, we have amazing creations from our community and amazing challenge winners that have used AI to do that as well. So I think that's the biggest interesting point when it comes to that. But it, again, like everything else, it is a balance that we're trying to maintain.
I am going to agree with you, and I'm going to add that the diversity that comes with that, mm-hmm. the different voices that mm-hmm. are able to share.
Yeah.
I really have enjoyed seeing more people like you and me mm-hmm. that weren't able to express our imagination express our imagination and voices that I would probably have never heard from visually.
It does become like for everything else as well. It becomes an amplifier, not necessarily a blocker, but an amplifier of what idea you have and how you can make it real. At least for me, it has.
Okay, well, I am not going to hide my intent. One of the reasons I wanted to speak with you today is because I know we have a new partner program. I know that this can be very valuable for our community to hear about. And so I wanted to ask you to tell us a little bit more about this program.
Yeah. So I think whenever you have a community, naturally leaders start to show up. And not leaders in the sense of they tell the rest to follow, but a leader in the sense of a taste leader. So what that means is a lot of our community members, some of them are more active than others, and some of them, they love Picsart. Most of them love Picsart and use Picsart either way. So we thought of this program that could amplify these leaders' voice and allow them to talk about Picsart and talk about Picsart both inside the app and outside the app. And in return, we have created this sub-community of ambassadors where we are able to reward them, we're able to make them a part of our beta test versions, we're able to talk to them more one-on-one. And the most important part of this program probably is the fact that we are able to give these users something in advance and help build the product with them. I think that's the most fundamental thing about community as well as product builders is it's not just an audience, it's not even just a community, but they become builders with you. And we truly do listen to what these ambassadors have to say, and we prioritize a lot of our roadmap based on the feedback that we receive, because these are very, very valuable users, not only to us, but to other community members as well. So I think a big fundamental part of this Picsart partner program is the fact that we are enabling these people who are already leaders and talk about and love Picsart inside and outside the app to continue doing that, but with additional perks. And another fundamental part of it is the fact that, like most of our community, but especially our Picsart partners, they are going to help us inform what decisions to make. So they are going to be the ones to build the product with us almost, in terms of us valuing deeply their feedback and their pains and their thought and creation process, and turning that into inputs for the roadmap that we are building and the products that we are building.
Okay, and for whoever is excited and activated by that, would you also tell us what are you looking for? Who is your Picsart partner?
Yeah. So first of all, in the Picsart Partners program, we're looking for some people that first and foremost love and use Picsart, so that doesn't have to change. People who are here to inform other users and other creators, who are here to lead and help and constructively even criticize sometimes other people's work, show people shortcuts. So people who are already evangelists, as we say, of Picsart, but are willing to have some additional perks and talk with the team and have exclusive access to features before they're rolled out to other users as well. So I think those are the type of users that we're looking for first and foremost.
Okay, so you heard it here first.
Yep.
if you fit the bill, we can share a link.
Of course, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. All right, I am going to end this conversation, although I don't want to. It's a joy speaking with you, but I'm going to end with a question I've been taking the rounds on with the team. So we are in this work because we love it, but I also believe we're in this work because we are doing it for some past, present, or future version of ourselves that will benefit from the power of creativity. So who's the inner Naneh that you are doing what you do for?
Oh, Madlene, you and your questions. I'm definitely building for a future version of myself that is I'm building for a future version of myself, but I'm trying to amplify the present version of myself, if that makes sense, because with the speed that we are moving in, and the amplitude that we're reaching, I think I'm trying to make the most out of my current self in order to build a better, happier, more engaged version of my future self. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And I'm happy that you are doing that and also empowering over 2.5 billion others to do the same.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining me today. And
Thank you for
the
having me.
insights.
Thank you, Madlene.